Well, firstly, maybe sort of reiterate what they've all said and give a massive welcome to you all. And may Gideon and I thank you all for coming. You may not have thought it, but writing this speech has been a little bit stressful. But how, you might ask? Surely Steve's life is just the sort of material that must write itself. And you wouldn't be wrong. As we all know, Steve's very existence is like a string of hilarious anecdotes. And we have had to consider the audience. We have brand new in-laws. There are grandparents in the room, lots of innocent, impressionable children within ear's reach, whose delicate minds need protecting from filth. Okay, maybe I'm being overdramatic, but the pressure of having nearly 80 expectant and slightly sunburnt faces just waiting for some juicy stories to add to their own back catalogue of Stevisms is a great pressure indeed. So please bear with us as we take you on a journey through the legend of Mr. Steve Milne, whom we all love so dearly.
Through the history of civilization and the written word, man has attempted to catalogue vast volumes of information, knowledge and data. Think library, think encyclopedias, dictionaries, Wikipedia and blockbusters. What do all of these mammoth tombs of information have in common? The alphabet. And it's within the order of these 26 simple letters that we will attempt to weave the beautiful chaos that is his life so far, starting, as tradition dictates, with A. May we introduce you to the Stevekipedia. A, aka as known as. Over the years, Steve has had many nicknames. Some of these have been self-titled, such as the Kiddie. I'm the fucking kiddie, he used to say. Burning round town in his 1 litre Fiesta. Other nicknames, however, seem to naturally attach themselves to Steve. Hit, Peckham Scum, and Goldfinger, his name included. Goldfinger, after he developed nicotine-stained fingers due to excessive smoking. Reminds me of the time he dipped his fingers into Nigel's fish tank. Poor little fishy! And the next morning, they were dead.
B. Blatantly staring at me. Now, at the height of Steve's sexual prime, his ego led him to believe that for some reason, every single woman in Bath wanted to get him into bed. There we would stand at 3 of us in Roxby's or Punana's nightclub, and 30 feet away an attractive lady would happen to walk across the room and vaguely gaze in our direction. She was blatantly staring at me, would be the phrase that popped out of his mouth. Although we interpreted the situation slightly differently, his optimism was always refreshing.
C. Chalk and cheese. Hard working. Saving money. Responsible. That's right, people. Ian had become Wonder Boy. Whereas Steve was wondering where the next party was and who he could tap for some spare cash, which is normally me, Nigel, or Ian. Some of you may remember the hit 90s film Twins, but we'll leave that for you to decide its relevance. D. Drinking. Now after Zoe and cigarettes, Steve's next favourite pastime is drinking. Only a few weeks ago, I walked past the bargain with Evelyn, and she points to the pub and says, Steve's house. Well, nearly, Evelyn. If there's a hint of a reason to go to the pub, Steve is there. We can all recall many a night that ended with Steve in a worse state than most. He seems to have developed the habit of putting you to one side and saying drunken things such as, I fucking love you, mate. It's always nice to be told that someone loves you, even if it is a hairy drunken man that says it.
E. Everything's going to be alright. This is a comment made by my mum once about Steve. We were randomly discussing life, and out of the blue she said, the thing is with Steve, you just want to give him a big hug and say, everything's going to be all right. This is a perfect example of how Steve manages to capture people's affections, though not that we have any reason to worry, as it's Zoe's problem now. F. Finances. Steve is a whiz with money. He knows exactly what to do with it. Spend it. Occasionally he forgets to earn it first though. And at one point this led to Papa Mill drip feeding Steve his own wages. This is in a vain attempt to reduce Steve's party fund and allow him to invest in such necessities as a fuel to get him to work. This worked to a degree. He did make it to work. Unfortunately on Monday he failed to make it home. Steve had run out of fuel and was parked up on the M4 hard shoulder. It turned out that morning he had decided that bags of petrol were higher on his list of priorities than petrol. Poor old Papa Mill had to go and take in the can of fuel, much to his annoyance. G. Generosity. Steve is naturally a very generous guy. He is always there for others, but willing to share and help. Whether it be a shoulder to lean on or a favour to give. He has always put the needs of his close friends before his own, even if you ask for his last cigarette.
H. Honda. Steve has had a variety of jobs through his working life. One of the most memorable being at the Honda car plant in Swindon. Every day, Steve would get up early, jump in his car and hit the road. Now Steve is an intelligent guy, but I think that he must have an appalling sense of direction, because once on the motorway, he would proceed to drive straight past the turning for the Honda factory, and strangely end up in either London or Salisbury. Luckily for him, these were the two places where Nigel and myself were at uni studying. So at 6 AM, there'd be a knock on the door, and it would be Steve. I would let him in, where he would promptly go back to sleep on my sofa. Then when I would finally drag myself out of bed at 11 AM, it would seem rude to ignore a guest, so I would skip uni for the day. We would head out for some fun with my best mate. I was always glad to see him.
IOUs. Point F, finances. Steve often found himself short of money. As loyal friends, we could not possibly go out on a Saturday night without him, so we would lend Steve some cash with grand promises of repayment, definitely on payday. Now, along with a bad sense of direction, Steve also appears to have a terrible memory. For some reason, he seems to have forgotten to pay us any of it.
J. You'll be upstanding to John Mill, please.
K. Kebabs. Lunch or dinner, there isn't a time of day that Steve hasn't reached the flames menu. If he had his way, it would be the feast we're about to eat now. There is a strong chance Zoe may have to delay their first night as a married couple so that they may sample a local one. However, he's not a complete lout. Will always have a little bit of salad and helps towards his 0.5 a day.
L. Legends.